Hello and welcome to the Rest is Football question and answer episode with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. Thank you once again for sending in your questions. Much appreciated. We've got quite a few featuring a certain game that's coming up at the weekend that Alan might... Come on! Toon Army. So I'm going to lead straight in because there's a few in your direction. Chris J asks, how's Al feeling ahead of the mighty Toons final against Liverpool?
I'm feeling fine. I'm all right. I'm excited. Liverpool will go into the game as favourites. There's no doubt they're having a brilliant season.
Are you slightly encouraged? I know they've won the last two games, but that we've seen. And we're recording this on Monday morning after they did beat Southampton 3-1, but they've not been quite as impressive in those games. They were very lucky against PSG. Does that give you a little bit of encouragement?
I haven't really thought about that way, to be honest, but that's also the sign of a good team, that if you haven't played particularly well and you're still winning, that's a slight worry. But yeah, they'll go into the game as favourites, and rightly so, because they're having an amazing season. But hey, if Wigan can go to Wembley and beat Man City, then Newcastle can go to Wembley and beat
Why are you
Liverpool.
bringing up old stuff, mate? Why are you bringing up old stuff?
Well, I'm just having all these things that you got to hope, Just give us a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Okay, the little bit of hope is, Al, if you press them, and when Newcastle are at the best and they press high like PSG did, of course you've not got the same quality as PSG, but you can get at them in that part of that's the chance, I would say. I know Wembley's a massive pitch, but yeah, that'll give you a little bit of hope.
Great.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I remember when Leicester beat Chelsea. We were there, Alan, 2020.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Obviously Chelsea were in the Champions League final. They went on to win it. And Tielemans hit that long range, and Leicester never had a kick apart from that.
Yep.
But things can happen.
Absolutely.
And so I think there's a question from Mason Jason. Mason Jason?
Mason Jason.
What a great
Mason
name.
Jason.
Or I wonder if it's back to front, it should be Jason Mason. Who knows? Is Micah going to be showing his love to the Toon Army for the final?
Toon Army! Of course I am.
You want Newcastle to win, don't you?
Football is the winner, as you know, Alan.
Mr. Creosote is back.
Get off that fence.
But
he's scared of the pylon from the Scouts.
No. But
Liverpool will settle surely for the league and the Champions League.
in this case, I want Newcastle to win. They've not won a trophy for so long. I went up to St. James's when it was in the Champions League, when they played PSG. It was rocking. The fans were brilliant. And I would just love to see them have that moment. So if you ask me who I want to win, although I respect both clubs, I would pick Newcastle, Alan. There you go.
That was the time when you and Jamie Carragher came up to the box, didn't you, to interview me when I had about 4 or 5 pints of Guinness beforehand.
We went up to the box and we interviewed Al. It was great. Oh, it was fantastic.
That actually, Alan, leads me to a question from John David, who says, how many pints of Guinness will Alan sink if Newcastle win?
Oh, there won't be enough. Can you imagine? In fact, you can have an issue, get me on to do a recording on Sunday night if Newcastle win the Carabao, because I will go missing. To do it.
Oh, the more pissed you are, the better, Alan.
Yeah, I will definitely have a few and a few more if Newcastle win.
Wonderful stuff. Benjamin, who should play left wing and left back for Newcastle with Gordon and Hall out? They're big losses, aren't they?
Yeah, big losses, yeah, because Lewis Hall's had a really, really good season. Anthony Gordon might not have been in the form that he, or playing as well as he can do, but he's still a threat. So there'll be a big miss. But I think what he'll do is he'll put Trippier right back and Livramento left back. If it was me, I'd probably play Harvey Barnes on the left-hand side.
Yeah, he's a good replacement.
Murphy and Isak, yeah. And the three in midfield, if they're fit, would be Bruno, Joe Linton and Tonali.
Would you not go with a target at left back? I know Livramento's been good this season. Obviously, Trippier is always dependable. Just for that left foot, or would you prefer Livramento and Trippier?
I think with Livramento's pace, I think he'll. That's why he'll stick him in at left back, and against Mo Salah, he's going to have to have a good game, isn't he? Yeah. No pressure.
No pressure at all. Got nothing to lose.
Except for the final.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine how grumpy Al's going to be if Newcastle lose, guys. Oh, my word.
There's going to be an emotional roller coaster, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think we're all rooting for you, Al. I think most football fans in the country will look at it this season and go, well, Liverpool they've won the league. Perhaps Newcastle can win a trophy finally. Except for Sunderland fans, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
How long's it been again, Al?
70 years domestically.
70 years?
1955 was the last time they won a domestic trophy, the FA Cup.
Were you there, Alan?
God, yeah. Domestic trophy.
I'm not sure what this has got to do with anything, but Kaylee Whaley. There's someone making these names up.
Mason, Jason and Kaylee Whaley.
Jason and Kaylee Whaley. When did Alan decide to shave it all off and call it a day? I presume he means the island that you used to persist with on the top of your head.
You should have told me what a prat I looked with that island, by the way. I was hanging on and hanging on and hanging on, wasn't I? It should have come off a lot earlier than it did.
I've been looking at Alistair Campbell quite a bit lately, from the rest of his politics. He's got to make that call at some point.
By the way, before you go on, I don't know if you guys listen to the rest of his politics, but we need to up our game because those boys are sensational. Oh my God. I listen to their pod as soon as it comes out. They're absolutely amazing. You know that? And I don't even like politics. I just like listening to them too.
Well, you educate yourself by listening, don't you? They know
Correct.
So much,
Did you hear what he said then? We need to up our game. Have a look in the fucking mirror, will you?
Oh, dear. Here's a nice question. Simon, would Alan, in his prime, put himself ahead of Isak in the current Newcastle 11?
I mean, Isak's a good player, but come on, guys.
Yes!
Boom!
I think you could play together.
I was just about to say that. I wouldn't mind playing up top with him, yeah.
Al, can I just ask you quickly? When the ball used to go up to you, obviously I remember you was more of a target man, but a lot of my friends, or my dad and all that, used to say he was really good technique as well, the little layoffs and all that and the round the corners. He said you had them in your locker.
He's a cheeky. My dad used to. What a dick he is. You, not your dad, I mean. You were good at the technique and all.
You think that's bad? I went to my old club Premier League thing that I went to my old club that I played in Leicester when I grew up, under 12s, under 13s, so on, until I left for Leicester City, a club called Elston Park. And I went there a few years ago to open a pavilion, and they had all different ages playing on the pitches, and I went round meeting them. This little lad came up. He must have been about, I don't know, 9, 10. He went, "Oh, Gary," "my granddad used to play with you."
Oh, shit. Oh. That's when you know you're getting on. It's hard enough when they say my dad and the granddad.
It's like a knife in the back. It really was. Mr. Green Biscuit. The names are good this week, aren't they? Mr. Green Biscuit asks, what did you do with your runners-up medals?
Actually, I don't know. I don't even know where they are.
Micah's got his behind him, hasn't he? Is that no?
No, you know what?
I have no idea where my.
I've put my medals somewhere. I've hidden them, but I can't find. I don't remember where I've hidden them.
I'm a bit like that.
Yeah,
I don't know where they are. No. No idea.
No idea.
Certainly won't be searching hard for the runners-up medals. Time for us to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Rest is Football question and answer episode with Micah, Alan and me, Gary. This question here from Michael Hughes. If you had to go on holiday together to a country that none of you have ever been to before, where would you go? Ooh, blimey, that's difficult because we've got to work out where we've not been. I've not been to India, have you?
Yeah, I've been to India.
Yeah, I thought you probably
few
had.
times, yeah.
Where else have I not been that I'd really like to go?
Argentina?
I've been there. I was there with Diego, and I filming.
Peru. Have you been to Peru?
No, that's a good shout. Peru looks amazing. Yeah, great stories of that.
Nobby Solano
Lima.
always tells me how great it was in little Peruvian, wasn't he? Remember Nobby Solano? What a great little player he was.
Is it
So
Lima?
that's why I said
Lima,
Peru.
is it the capital of
Lima, yeah.
What about Colombia?
Colombia.
Colombia? Oh, that might be a bit.
We
We'll
might
have a right few days up in there, lads.
we might lose you in Colombia. I don't think you'd ever come back.
That takes us on nicely to Nathan Cheshire. Best story from travelling to an away day in Europe. I think the thing with those things is that as a footballer, you get on a bus, you fly on a plane, you get on a bus, you go to a hotel, you might have a training session the night before a game, and then you've got a game the next night, and then as soon as the game is finished, you're on a bus and you go on a plane.
Correct.
Yeah.
And nothing ever happens, does it?
Nothing.
Nothing
So
ever
boring.
happens. It's just travelling.
It is, yeah.
Sorry to disappoint you, Nathan, but
I would love to give you a story about away days and all that, but it was too strict. When you played in Europe, especially, like you've got no time to do anything.
Apart from when you go to the Far East with England on tour at the end of the
now
season.
you're talking that story. The dentist chair.
The dentist chair, yeah. Goodness me.
Can you believe that Alan was involved in that, Micah?
Well, I was there, but I wasn't. I didn't. I just seen the drinks being poured down people's throats in that dentist chair, and then can you imagine front page of
I remember
every
it.
single newspaper? It was unbelievable. The way Terry Venables handled it, as a manager, he was amazing. He looked after all of us and protected everyone. I mean, he was really angry and disappointed, but we're about to go into a major tournament at home at Wembley and all our games at Wembley.
What were you doing out there? Was it? Why would you go there when the tournament's in England?
Yeah, there was a game in Hong Kong. I think there was a game in China as well. And so we had 2 games leading up there, and it was just one of those nights. I think it was towards the end of the trip, and he said, "Just go and have a few beers and be in by 1 o'clock or something like that." And then you know what it's like, don't you? And he used to say, "Go and have a few beers."
But you know when to go home, don't you? You're very sensible, aren't you? If you smell trouble, straight to bed.
But yeah, that was the biggest story I think when on away trips. Yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely one of the great stories. But it wasn't quite a European trip, but it was a trip nevertheless. Oliver Smith, what's your football guilty pleasure?
what's that mean?
I don't know. Well, guilty pleasure is normally the TV show, isn't it, or something, or a snack that you like. But a football guilty pleasure, fantasy football, Mike.
That's 100% fantasy football. But although I quite like shithousery, that's, when you're in the tunnel or there's a bit of back and forth.
Bit of argy-bargy.
It's all too nice now, football, isn't it? I like a little bit of argy-bargy.
I don't want any argy-bargy with you, thank you very much, Micah. Be terrified. John Roberts, I think Micah might win this one. The weirdest purchase when you became a footballer.
Micah, over to you.
I mean, I must say, I had one or two. You look back at old pictures, don't you? And I 1 or 2 of the outfits that I chose to buy. I remember one was, I think it was a Versace number. I don't know what on earth possessed me to spend that kind of dough on it was like a black jacket with like almost not a zebra pattern on the front, but it was. Occasionally the picture crops up somewhere, and I think it might have been wearing some. Might have been the 1990 World Cup final when I went with Bobby Robson to the game. Might have been that. It was dreadful. Dreadful.
Have you seen the picture of me in my? It was like I don't know what colour. It was like a suit. When we went for World Player of the Year, it was me, George Weah, and Ronaldo. Have you seen the state of the suit that I'm wearing? Honestly, it's like 5 sizes too big for me. And it's like, and I look the same as you. I look at it and think, how on earth did anyone let you go out dressed like that?
What were we thinking? What were we thinking? Micah's a fashion god, but you must have made some odd purchases, Mike.
I've had all sorts of nonsense, but do you remember Jacob & Co. watches?
Yeah.
With all the diamonds in. Oh my God.
You went full in with that, did you?
I went full in.
Have you still got it?
I've still got it. It's up there. The watch is ruined. I mean, the diamonds don't even look real, to be honest. And Andy Cole pulled me, didn't he? He said, he used to call me Topper. Because I used to always go over the top of people in training, apparently. And he just looked at me in disgust and said, "What on God's earth are you doing?" He said, "You're buying a 20 grand watch and you've not even got a house." And from that day, I was like, you know what? At the time, I was thinking, who's this guy thinking? It's my money, I'll do what I want. But then you go home and think about it, and he's actually right.
He's got a point.
Alan, producer John has sent the picture of you, Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo.
Oh yeah. Look at the state of that suit. It's hanging off me.
You know what? The suit's not. It's the tie. What is the tie?
Oh my God!
Wow,
Terrible. Look how high my strides are.
Have
My
you
trousers.
did you go for a gold tie because you thought you were going to win? Or?
Oh God! Look at this.
Look at the barnet.
No.
You're in good company, though.
Oh,
You're in good company there. You really are.
two great players they were, weren't they? My God.
Oh wow.
Final question from Rex Davids. What has been your funniest interaction with fans in public or in stadiums? I'm going to tell a story about that Lee Dixon told me. And apologies, Dicko, for stealing your story, but I'll give you absolute credit for it because it's absolutely superb. He was playing at West Ham at Upton Park for Arsenal, and you used to get a bit of abuse from the stands there from various people, and he always said, "Oh, I always ignored it." He said, "No, I was playing this game, and I think someone got injured, or there was a little bit of a delay in play, and there was going to be a throw in." And he said, "But I was on the side waiting." He said, and someone shouted, forgive my language. He said, someone shouted out, Dixon, you're a useless." Right, so he said, I looked over. He said, I was going to ignore it. He said, and I looked at it, and the fella, he said, he's got his little boys on his lap, like 6 years old kid or something like that. And he says, I kind of snapped. I said, why'd you say that in front of your lad? And he said, don't worry about him. He thinks you're a useless as well. We should probably beep the C word because some people.
Oh, we're not beating that then, Micah.
No. We're not beating that. You can have that.
Yeah, it's a good story from Lee Dixon. Brilliant. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thank you once again for your questions. We'll be back on Friday when we'll discuss things all Champions League and see who's through to the quarterfinals. Bye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.